Mr. Marius Borghoiby, the son of Crown Princess Mette-Marit of Norway, arrested again on a very serious charge in Oslo. The Prince of Wales teams up with the Crown Prince of Oman for a new project. Queen Mathilde of the Belgians participates in Reading Aloud Week in Ghent. And the princely family of Monaco celebrate Fête Nationale Monégasque in Monacoville. All this and much more coming up next on your Royal Daily News. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are having a wonderful day today. My name is Alexandra, and welcome to your Royal Daily News for Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. This morning, their Serene Highnesses, Prince Albert II and Princess Charlene of Monaco, accompanied by His Serene Highness, Hereditary Prince Jacques of Monaco, and Her Serene Highness, Princess Gabriella of Monaco, celebrated Fête Nationale Monégasque 2024 in Monacoville. The history of Fête Nationale Monégasque dates back to the reign of Prince Charles III of Monaco, a time when the principality became a modern and truly independent state with a national flag, diplomatic representation abroad, and treaties signed with various powers. During the second year of his reign, in 1857, Prince Charles III decided that November 4th, the feast day of his patron saint, be declared Fête des Souverains. Under his reign, the sovereign's patronal feast, which Monégasques referred to as La Fête du Prince, was regularly celebrated with a Te Deum at the St. Nicholas Cathedral, which was demolished in 1874 and rebuilt. Today, it is known as the Cathédrale de Monaco. After the death of Prince Charles III on September 10, 1889, by a sovereign ordinance on May 8, 1890, Prince Albert I of Monaco fixed November 15th, St. Albert's Day, as La Fête des Souverains. On June 26, 1922, Prince Albert I of Monaco passed away. Prince Louis II of Monaco's birthday on August 25th posed a problem. The principality at the time had only one winter season, and August was a month for holidays and business closures. Prince Louis II then decided by sovereign ordinance on July 17, 1922, to fix Sovereign's Day, the term used in the ordinance, on January 17th, the day of Saint Antoine, the patronal feast of his granddaughter, Princess Antoinette. Prince Rainier III was born the following year on May 31, 1923. On May 9, 1949, Prince Louis II passed away, and Prince Rainier III of Monaco acceded to the throne. On July 4, 1949, a sovereign ordinance was issued stating that Sovereign's Day would take place on April 11, 1950. The sovereign ordinance was repealed in October 1951. Since 1952, Fête Nationale is celebrated on November 19th. It is also the enthronement day, as well as the feast day of Blessed Rainier of Arezzo, Prince Rainier III's patron saint. On his enthronement day in 2005, Prince Albert II decided to honor his father by keeping Fête Nationale Monégasque on November 19th, instead of November 15th, which is the feast of St. Albert's Day. As in all countries, Fête Nationale is an opportunity for the Monégasque community to celebrate its national identity and traditions. On this occasion, the Monégasque people and the residents of the Principality of Monaco gather around the sovereign prince and the princely family of Monaco on the Place du Palais. Returning to today's event, the celebrations began in the morning with the sovereign prince couple, Her Royal Highness, Princess Caroline of Hanover, and Her Serene Highness, Princess Stephanie of Monaco, attending a Thanksgiving Mass led by Archbishop Dominique-Marie David at the Cathédrale de Monaco in Monacoville. Also attending this morning's Thanksgiving Mass were Mr. Andrea Casaraghi, Mrs. Tatiana Santo Domingo Casaraghi, Ms. Charlotte Casaraghi, Mr. Pierre Casaraghi, Mrs. Beatrice Borromeo Casaraghi, Mr. Louis Ducreuil, Mrs. Marie Ducreuil, Miss Pauline Ducreuil, Miss Camille Gottlieb, Miss Melanie Antoinette Costello de Massey, Mr. Gareth Woodstock and his 2 daughters, the Minister of the State of the Principality of Monaco, Mr. Didier Guillaume, the Mayor of Monaco, Georges Marsan, and his wife, the President of the National Council, Mr. Thomas Bresso, members of the Sovereign Princess Court, government officials, representatives from various faith communities, and Monégasque citizens. After Mass and a quick drive along the Rue Colonel Belando de Castro to the Palais Princier, members of the Sovereign Prince family, members of the princely family of Monaco, the de Massey family, and the Woodstock family attended a reception held inside the Salon de Glace. Select members of the government, including Minister Guillaume, Mayor Marsan, and a few distinguished guests, also attended the reception. At 11 a.m., the Sovereign Prince family and the princely family of Monaco presided over the taking up of arms and the presentation of rank insignia in the Court of Honor at the Palais. Also attending the event were Archbishop Dominique Marie David, the Woodstock family, members of the de Massey family including Ms. Christine Neck de Massey, Ms. Vittoria Neck de Massey, Miss Alexia Neck de Massey, Mrs. Donatella Neck de Massey, and her husband, Mr. Sebastian Neck de Massey, and members of the Monégasque government. At noon, the Sovereign Prince family, the princely family of Monaco, and guests watched the traditional military parade on the Place du Palais. And with that, Bonne Fête Nationale, Monaco. In Luxembourg City, His Royal Highness, Hereditary Grand Duke Guillaume of Luxembourg, as Lieutenant Representative of the Grand Duke, held an audience with a delegation from the National Commission for Data Protection at the Palais Grand Ducal. This morning, Her Majesty, Queen Mathilde of the Belgians, visited the Desiree von Mukova Primary School in Ghent on the occasion of Read Aloud Week 2024. The theme of this year's Read Aloud Week is Reading Aloud Enriches Your World. During today's event, the Queen took part in a reading session with a volunteer from Ditto BZW, an organization that enables people with disabilities to read aloud in schools. In Muscat, His Majesty, Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Said of Oman, conferred royal orders to members of the royal family of the Sultanate of Oman and government ministers on the occasion of the 54th Glorious National Day at Al Baraka Palace. The Sultan bestowed the Oman First Order to His Highness Crown Prince Saeed Ayezin bin Haytham Al Said of Oman and his younger brother, His Highness Saeed Bilarab bin Haytham Al Said of Oman. Meanwhile, the Royal Court of Oman announced that His Highness Crown Prince Saeed Ayezin bin Haytham Al Said of Oman and His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales will attend the launch of the expedition project entitled Oman, the Jewel of Arabia, on Monday, November 25th, 2024, in London. Per this morning's press release, quote, the expedition is scheduled to begin in January of 2025 and will trace a historic route from Ras Al Had in the Wilayat of Sur, following the coastline to the city of Salalah in the Dhofar Governorate. This 30-day journey will bring together Omani youth and British travel enthusiasts in a unique cultural exchange. The project aims to develop youth skills in exploration, heritage preservation, and sustainable environmental practices. It pays homage to British explorer Bertram Thomas, who, in 1928, became the first European to cross the Rub al Khali Desert, also known as the Empty Quarter, following ancient Omani trade routes. End quote. Oman, the Jewel of Arabia, is an initiative of the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism in the Sultanate of Oman, in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs through the Embassy of the Sultanate of Oman in the United Kingdom. In Copenhagen, His Majesty, King Frederik X of Denmark, as patron, held an audience with the chairman of the board of the Royal Danish Yacht Club, Miss Sophie Hansen, and Mr. Carl Erik Kjærskov, at Frederick VIII's palace at Amalienborg. The king became patron of the Royal Danish Yacht Club on the occasion of the change of throne in January. During the audience, the king was presented with a new painting by Faroese artist Miss Hansina Iversen. This evening in Copenhagen, Her Majesty, Queen Mary of Denmark, hosted a dinner for the governing body of the Mary Foundation at Christian VII's palace at Amalienborg. Before I begin with my next report, I want to let you know that the subject is very sensitive. Moreover, there are certain words that I cannot say on YouTube without getting into trouble. Therefore, instead of saying a full word, I will use a letter instead. So let's begin. Last evening, Mr. Marius Borg Højby, the son of Her Royal Highness Crown Princess Mette-Marit of Norway and the stepson of the Crown Prince of Norway, was arrested by the Norwegian Police Service's Oslo district and charged with R of an unnamed woman in her 20s. The incident, according to the police, took place earlier this year. The attorney for the Oslo Police District, Mr. Andreas Gruzetsky, issued a press release this morning confirming that Mr. Borg Højby was arrested by the police yesterday at 2312 in a car with the victim of the violent incident that took place on Frogner in Oslo in the early morning hours of August 4th, 2024. He is now in jail in the neighborhood of Grønland in the city of Oslo. At the same time of Monday evening's arrest, the police searched and seized items, including a cell phone, from Mr. Borg Højby's residence on the Skaugum estate. Mr. Kruzetsky also said, quote, "As of now, no decision has been taken as to whether he will be charged for imprisonment. We will get to you on that." The police have expanded the charges against Mr. Borg Højby. The charge has been extended to also apply to a violation of Chapter 26, Section 291, Letter B of the Norwegian Penal Code, R, which also applies to SI, with someone who is unconscious or, for other reasons, unable to resist the act. The police created a report based on information that has emerged during the ongoing investigation. The prosecution decided to investigate the matter on 6 November 2024. What the police can say about the R is that it concerns SI without intercourse. The victim must have been unable to resist the act. The Oslo District Court has appointed lawyer Ms. Hege Solomon as legal counsel for the victim. The part of the charge that applies to the victim from the Frogner incident now has been extended to apply to the violation of Section 282 of the Criminal Code, which includes abuse in close relationships. Furthermore, the charge relates to another violation of a restraining order against the same victim. In addition, a report has been filed for violation of a restraining order and a driving without a valid driver's license. End quote. Mr. Borg Højby's attorney, Mr. Øyvind Bratlian, released a statement after the arrest of his client, confirming that he, quote, pleads not guilty to the new charge against him. He is cooperating with the police and wants to explain himself. End quote. On August 4th, 2024, Mr. Borg Højby was arrested at Jernsløkka School in Asker in connection with a violent incident that took place at an apartment on Frogner in Oslo. At the time of the violent incident, the unnamed 20-year-old victim was the girlfriend of Mr. Borg Højby. On August 7th, the Norwegian Police Service's Oslo district charged Mr. Borg Højby with bodily harm and damage. On August 14th, Mr. Borg-Hoiby admitted in a statement released through his attorney, Mr. Oyvind Bratlien, that he was high on drugs during the violent incident. On August 15th and 16th, two of Mr. Borg-Hoiby's ex-girlfriends came forward accusing him of physical and psychological abuse during their relationship. As of today, Mr. Borg-Hoiby is charged with Chapter 25, Section 282 of the Norwegian Penal Code, abuse in close relationships. 3 counts. First, with the unnamed 20-year-old victim of the Frogner case. The second, with his ex-girlfriend, Miss Nora Haukland. And the third, with his ex-girlfriend, Julian Snikestad. Each count carries a maximum of 6 years in prison. Damage, reckless behavior, and violating a restraining order against the unnamed 20-year-old victim of the Frogner case. Chapter 28, Section 351, damage, carries a maximum of 1 year in prison. Chapter 24, Section 266, reckless behavior, carries a maximum of 2 years in prison. Chapter 24, Section 263 of the Norwegian Penal Code, threats, 1 count, against an unnamed 20-year-old man. If convicted, Mr. Borg-Hoiby would be punished with a fine or 1 year in prison. Chapter 26, Section 291, Letter B of the Norwegian Penal Code, R, without intercourse against an unnamed woman in her 20s. If convicted, Mr. Borg-Hoiby is facing a maximum of 15 years in prison. Upon hearing the news of his stepson's arrest, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Haakon of Norway, who is currently on a 3-day working visit to Jamaica in his capacity as a Goodwill Ambassador for the United Nations Development Program, spoke with the press, stating, quote, "There are serious charges that Marius is facing. And today, of course, we are thinking of all those affected. The police must be allowed to do their job, and the judiciary must be allowed to do their job. And I trust that they do that in a good way. I would like to add that I would like to be at home with Mette today. I miss her." End quote. A journalist then asked the Crown Prince, quote, "Did you know about the arrest?" End quote. The Crown Prince replied, quote, "No, we were not notified in advance." End quote. The investigation is still ongoing, so please stay tuned for updates. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I will be back tomorrow on Wednesday, November 20th, with all the latest royal news and events. Until then, I sincerely wish each and every one of you, your family, your friends, and your pets a wonderful afternoon. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you'd like, and click on the notification bell so you won't miss a new episode. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.